Welcome everybody. Today we will continue with our Phillidor. Today we will analyze third move f3 for white. I think so. I will just put the position. So I think f3 move. It's interesting move to make move order for white. It leads in some also typical king Indian semish positions, but I think I found it with black very nice and active play, and I will try to explain you today this line. So f3, e5, and now I think the main and the most critical move is d5. What is now happening? Center is blocked, and I think black if should do something immediately. So I analyzed move bishop e7 first, bishop e3, like white is just developing, and now c6 move. What is the idea with 6 move? I want to provoke c4, otherwise I'm threatening to just capture on d5. And after c4, I found it like very interesting move, played in only 2 games, but 2 Grandmaster game, and I think it's very interesting. I played also on one rapid game, and I won that game, and very easy. I got advantage in this game. So b5, very interesting move, and now we will check what is now happening. So first I will try to explain you what is happening after a3. This is like main line, but now I will play just castle, and on knight c3, b takes c4. Now my general idea with b5 is to capture on c4, and I want to fight for the central squares. And now bishop c4 I think is the best line, and in that game Lupulescu against Kempinski, so two strong grandmasters, happened c takes bishop b7, but I found it like very interesting, c takes d5. And what is now happening? Knight d5. My idea is just bishop e6. White has control of this d5 square, and black is just fighting for this square, and also white has some problems with development with rook on h1 and knight on g1. So I think normal move for white is just knight e2, but I think black will achieve very nice game. Knight bd7, and now knight ec3. I think it's just logical to fight for center. Otherwise I will just maybe capture twice and play knight f6 and push d5. So I think I will just have enough counterplay. But in the game happened like knight ec3. I think it's the best. Now knight d5, bishop d5. And now what to do now? Now I think it's not good to take immediately. I just want to play first rook b8. I don't allow him to just easily develop and achieve advantage. So b4, a5, rook b1, and now I think black has just very strong opportunity here. I think bishop h4. I want to weakening a little bit white's king, and now g3. Logical move, it's bishop g5. I think his dark square bishop is stronger than mine, so I think with black just it's always idea to do that. So bishop g5, queen g5, and now queen d2. I will not change the queens. I will just play queen e7. What is now important also to say, b takes a5, of course, it's not possible because of queen e3, so I think just queen d2 is normal, and now it's happening queen e7. And still white has some problems with development, so I analyze 2 moves, castle or b5. First we can check castle, what is happening. On castle, I can just capture on b4, a takes b4, and rook c8. And now I think black has enough compensation for this central square d5, which is in control of white, because white king side is a little bit weak, and I have some sort of pressure on b pawn and on c3 knight with my rooks, yes. And also probably I will just later play knight f6, and I think black has just decent play. And what is now happening instead of castle? Instead of castle, it's possible to push b5. Now something else is happening. Now again I will play rook fc8, and I think maybe the best move is just bishop c6. And now I will just push knight c5, play knight c5, and on castle I have knight b3. And now on knight d5, black has just very strong move, queen a7. And on queen f2, just knight d4. And I think position is just very complicated, but I think on f4 just f6 is coming, and I think black is at least equal. Okay, so we need to go back. What is now happening on c takes d5? If he take not with bishop, but if he take with bishop, yeah, here, not with knight, just bishop. I think black can just capture here queen knight d5, and now queen d5. There is one strong stroke opportunity, so it on first looks things like white made a trick, and now he will take capture on a8, but now I have very strong move queen d7. And if he take queen a8, I think black is just slightly better with knight c6. Next move is bishop b7, and I think with so many pieces on the board, I think queen is just stronger than two rooks. My next move is just bishop b7. Okay, but now on queen d7, the best move is knight g2. But now I think black is just playing simple. Bishop b7, queen d2, okay. Queen d2, and now knight a6 is coming. I think this is like smart move because I want to take control of d5 square, and on castle just knight c7. Rook fd1 and rook fd8. With next move d5, it's forced, and I think black has very nice position. Okay, so I think what we need to check more, we need to go back on c6. Instead of a3, he can play something else, of course, and probably d takes c6 is just normal move. Yeah. But on d takes c6, what to do now in the game? Gallagher against Pelletier, two Swiss players. Happened like b takes c4, but I think I found it improvement with engines b4. What is now my idea? I'm controlling this c3 square, and I'm not allowing his knight to jump on c3 and on d5. And now on a3, I'm fighting for my pawn. I will not just capture, because then he will have this c3 square. I'm playing just queen a5. Not possible to take because rook is on a1 is hanging. So c7, but again very nice play. Knight c6, bishop b3, and just a short castle. Knight e2 and queen c7. A takes b4 is happening, and now I can just capture knight b4. And now I think b3, black will just have bishop d7. Very nice play. Even if white bishop d7, castle, and rook fb8. And now I'm even preventing his knight to jump to c3 because I have knight d3 and rook b3 then. And I think black has just very nice game. If I would choose some side, I would choose black, I think, here. Okay, so we need to go back. Instead of a3 and instead of d takes c6, I think possible move is just knight e2. But then I can just capture on b takes c4, knight c3, and now bishop b7. Bishop c4, and now I will not capture immediately, I will just play knight bd7. And now on castle I have knight b6. I want to take control of d5 square. And now on d takes c6, bishop c6, bishop d3, I think d5 is just very good. Bishop b6 is not possible because of queen b6, and then it's check to g1 king. And now knight d5, knight fd5, e takes d5, knight d5, bishop d5, and queen d5, queen d5, d5, knight c3. I think position is more or less equal. Bishop c6, and now rook fd1. I will not allow him something smarter. I will just play f6. And my next move is king f7, king e6. I think position is just very nice. There is no advantage for white. And the last move, seventh move, which we need to check is instead of c takes b5. If he's playing d takes c6, we checked like c takes b5. But what is now happening? Now I will not capture on d5, of course. I will capture on d5, d takes d5, and knight b7. And you see this king side is not developed, and I think black has just very nice compensation. On knight c3, bishop b7 is coming. Bishop c4, and just knight b6. And now if he capture, I think it's very clear that black has, it's not even possible to castle, and I think black has just very nice play. And if you play bishop b3 instead of bishop b6, then I can play a6. B takes a6, rook a6, and now knight g2, very strong move, queen a8. And again, I think black has just very nice game. I check everything with the engines. I think it's just very good position. So you see, this b5 is just very nice opportunity, played in only 2 games, but I think very nice concept, which gives very nice play for black. And now instead of c4, we need to check something else. Maybe we need to check bishop e3, yes, c6. And now knight c3 is possible. But now this is not the main idea, because now for black it will be easier to fight for d5 square. I think I can just play castle, and now queen d2, just c takes d5. E takes d5, and now again we are coming to the some neither type of position. I play a6, but I think it's good version. a4 and just knight bd7. And now on knight g2, I just play knight e8 with idea f5. Sometimes bishop is coming, and I think black has just very nice play on king side and in the center. Okay, and now what else we need to check? Yes, instead of move bishop e3, it's possible to push c4 immediately. Okay, now there is not possible anymore, I think, this c6 b5 idea, but now I'm just playing a5, something completely different. And now on knight c3, knight fd7, bishop e3. I think this is like typical kingside play. And for example, queen d2, I think my main idea is just to play bishop g5, and I think in most games white would play knight queen d2, but I think this is like unprecise move. It's a suspicious move, because now I'm just playing knight dc5, and on knight g2 I can play a very strong move, typical move h6 with idea of bishop g5. And for sure my idea is just to change this dark square bishop, and then I have really strong bishop on c8, and I think very nice position. But now we need to go back instead of queen d2, yes. We need to check bishop d3, I think this is like normal move. But now first knight dc5, bishop c2, and possible for black to make a castle. a3, and now I like f5 move. Now there is 2 possible moves. b4, I think it's again suspicious move, but seems like very good. But now I have very strong opportunity, f4. And on bishop f2, knight d7 is happening. And what is now happening? If he play rook b1, I will just capture and play bishop h4. It's very nice. I have very nice kingside play. On g3 I'm just playing bishop e7, because now it's not easy to develop because of this f3 weak pawn. Yeah. I can capture, and then f3 pawn is just very weak. Okay, but instead of b4, I think this is like unprecise move. It's possible to play f5, yeah, b4 reset. Possible to play e takes f5, but now I think I can just play bishop h4, always the strong move. I'm provoking weaknesses. Now g3, bishop g5 is coming. If I play bishop f2, I think with bishop f5, and you see again f3 pawn is weak. I'm very developed, and it's not easy for him to finish development, and I think black is just doing very good. Okay, but on bishop g5, I think it's possible to capture bishop g5, queen g5, now g4, queen h4, king d2, and now g6. I think it's really unclear game. Queen e1 and queen h6 check, queen e3, queen e3, king e3, g takes f5. I think white should change the queens, otherwise I think he's just with king in center, it's just very dangerous situation. And I think this position is more or less unclear. And now we need to go back. Instead of the e5, I analyze some other moves. For example, for instance, d takes yes, instead of b5, d takes e5 happened in some game, but for sure this is like not dangerous line. I can just capture d takes e5, queen d8, king d8, bishop c4, and now typical this exchange line, king e8. And what is now happening? In one game happened like bishop e3. And now my idea with black is just to change the dark square bishop with bishop c5, and now knight d2. And what is now happening? On knight d2, I think I can play just bishop c5, and on king f2, king e7 is happening. Knight d2, bishop e3, king e3, knight b6, bishop b3, and now a5 happening in the game. a4 and knight fd7. I'm playing on dark squares, knight c5, it's my idea, and I want to have pressure on a4 pawn. That was game Nikolov against Bosiocic. Knight c4 happened, and after knight c4, bishop c4, knight b6 coming, bishop b3, and now rook d8, knight c3, and now rook d6 happened, and now rook hd1, rook d1, rook d1, and bishop d7. And I think this is like not dead draw. I think there is still a lot of play, slightly preferable because my bishop is stronger than his bishop, and this a4 pawn is potentially weak. Okay, so we need to check. Okay, I think in one game, Stevic against Markus, two strong grandmasters, happened like knight c3. But in this case, I am playing c6. I'm preventing this knight to jump to b5 and on d5, and now c6, a4, a5, always the same. Knight g2, and just bishop c5 is happening. And I think black is just doing fine. In that game, I think happened like knight d1, but now bishop 3, knight e3, and knight c5. And I think all these positions are potentially better for black. Knight c1 and knight fd7. Knight d3, knight d3, bishop d3, and knight b6. I had some online experience in this playing online tournaments, this type of structure, and I think it's not the draw, you know. I think there is still a lot of play. Knight c4, bishop c4, and probably king e7. Now I will maybe change one rook, and then I will start to play maybe something on the side with h5. Also, I can combine a little bit play on. Okay, and what else we need to check? Yes, I think in this case, yeah, knight c3 immediately is the same. And now we need to go to move number 4 instead of e5, and we said now d takes e5. We need to check the line knight e2. But now again, I think it's typical Phillidor reaction. D takes d4, and now knight d4, obvious. And now d5 is happening, typical reaction. And on e5 I have knight h5. Very strong move. I'm threatening to give check, and knight g3 is then happening. And probably white should play g3, but now I play c5. Very strong play. And in game, Tomczak is strong grandmaster. I think he's member of the Polish national team, who is very strong. He played like knight b3 in one game, and after knight c6, I think after bishop b5, a6 is coming. And I think my knight is not on h5, it's not in danger, because I have very strong development. Now bishop c5, b takes c6. And now I think knight c3, I can just play g6, and now knight is returning to g7, and with bishop pair and potentially d4, c4 pawns, I think I have more potential. But for instance, we need to check maybe g4, but I think this is like wrong decision. And now black has very strong move, a5, excellent move. And now on g takes h5, I'm just playing queen h4 check, and on king f1, a4, and knight 3 d2, I will just play bishop e7, and on queen e1, queen h5. Even with piece down, I think black has just winning position, because king is in center and his queen side is very weak, not developed at all, and with these two bishops, I think position is just winning for black. And what we need to check else, instead of knight b3, which happened in this game, I think improvement is knight b4, but anyway, I think black has just not very nice game with d4, f4, and just g6. And suddenly on knight d2, I think I can play just a6, knight a3, and bishop e7. For sure, white doesn't have advantage, and I think position is really unclear, and if I would choose some side, I would choose black, yes. So yes, this is, I think, about everything about this f3 line. I think with this e5, and especially with this d5, bishop e7, c4, c6, and b5 idea, I think we just have very nice line against this. And my practical knowledge gives and which I played in some games, I think that black is just doing fine in this line with f3, yes. Okay, thank you very much everybody for following this video, and we will come to with some new lines, yes. Yes, see you next time. Bye bye.